If you snore or grind your teeth, then you might need this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda. I just picked this up. It's Tranquility PRO. And it's a mouth guard, BPA free. That means the BPAs are totally free, no extra charge. Now, I actually suffer from grinding teeth. It's actually been a problem for a long time. I've done it just because I'm always under a lot of stress. And I have strong jaws. So, wearing a mouth guard is always recommended by my dentist to minimize that. So, hopefully, this will make him happy. Now, this mouth guard has some other interesting features too, which I'm excited about trying out. First of all, you use hot water to mold this to your teeth, so it should be a very good fit. On the other side here, the mouth guard has an upper and lower piece that attach to each other and can be adjusted. Now, what this can do is kind of pull your lower jaw out, kind of just gently pulling it out. And because I have huge tonsils and a big tongue, I tend to snore. I snore a lot. And actually that can be a real problem for getting enough air at night. It can be really annoying. It actually can be a sign of a lot of problems. And so I think this mouth guard is supposed to help with snoring. Pulling the tongue and the jaw and all that flesh forward keeps it from dropping into the back and kind of choking you and causing that snoring. Now, it's also my understanding that that's kind of the symptoms of sleep apnea too. Now, this does not say it cures snoring, and it certainly does not say that it treats sleep apnea. But if you think you have some of these problems, that you're gasping for air, you're not getting a good night's rest, you can't sleep through the night, you can't sleep in, those types of things, it might be a problem of you just getting enough air, especially when you sleep on your back and you notice that you're kind of waking up or choking for air or those types of things, then this might be worth giving it a try, especially if you haven't done anything yet. You know, certainly I'd recommend seeing a professional, a medical professional, get a sleep test, see if you need that. It can be a dangerous condition. But if something like this can help you sleep better and just not be interrupted every now and then, this might be worth its weight in gold. Now, molding this thing is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. First of all, looks like we get some marketing material. Here is the little flyer for the mouth guard. And what I think I need is hot water and cold water. And what you need to do here is step one, using your microwave or boiling water in a heat-safe bowl, which I've got a kettle of very warm water right here. And using your utensil or tongs, fully submerge the device into a bowl of hot water. Carefully remove your device from the bowl of hot water using your utensil or tongs and place in the bowl of cold water for 3 seconds. I think this will just allow the surface to cool down, but keep the inner material nice and hot. Place the device in your mouth with the upper portion of the device on your upper teeth, and then firmly bite down on the device for at least 20 seconds, pressing your fingers around your mouth area. So, let's try it out. Pouring my bowl of boiling water right there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this and drop it in there. Looks like it fully submerges for the most part.
2 hours later.
All right, now I think it's pretty warm, so I'm just gonna kind of fish it out here. Go ahead and drop it in the cold water just for a couple of seconds. Now I'm gonna fish that out, and you can see it's marked upper and lower here. Try it out. Okay, I'm done molding here. Now, what I actually found out is that I actually had to do it twice, because when I got it out, it's warm and you're biting down on it and your teeth are only going in so far. And what you really want to do is have a really kind of deep bite in there. So I did it again. I put it in the boiling water for about 90 seconds and then in the ice water for 3 seconds and then bit down on it for 20 seconds. Now, when it's in your mouth like this, you want to be pushing down on it, and you also want to be sucking in so that you're creating that vacuum. I also say that because I was biting down on it for 20 seconds the first time and 20 seconds the second time, it actually takes a lot of force to kind of bite into this like gelatin type of material. And so your jaws kind of hurt a little bit, but that's the price you pay for comfort. Now, I also will say that it's not that easy to see which side is upper and lower. So if you need glasses, I would definitely have those on while you were doing it, because it's just kind of molded into the clear plastic. And so when you take it out and it's dripping with water and you're trying to get it in there quickly, it's not that easy to see. So if you're looking at it like this, it looks like the upper is just a little bit of an overbite. So that kind of helps. Now, I will say the most interesting thing about this is not just having a molded mouth guard, which is going to help you with bruxism, teeth grinding, those types of things, but this one is supposed to give you some anti-snoring capability. And you can see the two pieces here are together. Now, it does come with this little plastic separator, but I can't find mine, so I'm just going to use very dull butter knife here. And what you want to do here is you want to go ahead and get this between the two pieces and then kind of twist them to pull them apart. And you can see there, they just popped apart. Now, what you have here are two little channels, a little flange and a channel here that they will fit into each other. And what you want to do here now is take these two pieces, and this lower piece was kind of an underbite before, and you want to move it ahead. You might be able to see on here there are little teeth so that you can line these up however you want. What you want to do is you just want to bring that lower piece forward a little bit to give yourself a little bit of an underbite, kind of pull that jaw away. Now, it's probably going to be a little trial and error to see what is comfortable. I'm just going to go ahead and press these together. You can see that the lower one is just a little ahead of the upper one, and I'm going to throw this in. This looks really good. All right. It's a little hard to talk with it's in. It is pulling my jaw a little forward. Now, I don't know how much you want to pull it forward. I think that's going to be up to you. Like I said, trial and error. But then you'll just want to sleep with it and see if you're not snoring. See if you feel more rested in the morning. So now I'm going to try this out and see what I think. All right, so it's actually been a few days since I started using this mouth guard, and I want to share with you all of my thoughts because I've had a lot of them. First of all, the first couple nights that I wore this, I kind of noticed something. I will tell you, right out of the gate, I had a pretty restful night. In fact, the 3 nights that I slept with it so far, I got less sleep during those nights than I normally do on average. And what ended up happening was that I felt more rested in those shorter sleeping periods than I did in my longer sleeping periods. So if you are looking for a life hack to maybe get some time back so that you're more energized, well, maybe this mouth guard will help you sleep a little better. Of course, when I am sleeping, it's hard to know if I am snoring or if I am choking on a blocked airway or something like that. But as far as I know, I didn't wake up, I didn't feel uncomfortable, any of those types of things, right? Now, I think one of the reasons that I feel so rested and refreshed after this is a couple of things. It's a combination of things. So one, I absolutely do think it helps prevent snoring. I found that actually just moving my jaw forward, maybe a few millimeters even, I couldn't even really get my tongue to go to the back of my throat. And so especially if you're sleeping on your back and gravity is kind of pulling everything towards your throat, it's really kind of holding it up, it's suspending it so that you still have a clear airway, which is really nice. That is combined with the fact that I do grind my teeth. I suffer from bruxism. And when you can't clench down on your mouth and grind those teeth and get all knotted up here, I think those two effects are actually helping you get a more restful sleep. At least that's kind of my theory so far. Now, there are some drawbacks to this. First of all, you have a mouth guard in here, and it's the upper and lower teeth covered, so it's not just like an upper tooth mouth guard that you might wear in sports. Your mouth is kind of suspended open like this, and so when you do have saliva in your mouth and you would normally swallow that, it's a little hard to swallow with your mouth still open. So it's something that you kind of get used to, but it's not natural. You kind of feel like you're gulping a little bit. The other thing is that this is open right here, and so when you have this in your mouth, it's very hard. You can't actually close your teeth, and it's certainly harder to close your lips because they have to go over this, and so you can't actually close your lips. So what you end up doing is you sleep with your mouth open, or at least it's venting. And so I have noticed that you can definitely suffer from dry mouth with this. I would expect you to wake up with a dry cotton mouth. Now, if you have a glass of water next to your bed, it can be nice to take a cool, refreshing sip of water a couple times through the night. The other things I will warn you about is that you want to get the bite right. First of all, when you do this and you bite into it, it's actually really stiff. Even when you get into that boiling water, cool it off for a couple seconds. I noticed that I had to heat this up twice in order to get my teeth really down deep into it. So kind of expect to go through the process twice is what I would say. And you do want to suck in on that because the problem, especially for me on the lower teeth, which I think are maybe your smaller teeth, they would kind of slip out of the mouth guard. And if they slip out of the bottom of the mouth guard, it really becomes useless because then your jaw can kind of fall back. So you really need those lower teeth to stay in there. And the more you mold this, I think the looser they get. And that's kind of the nature of an at-home DIY mouthguard molding process, is that it's just a softer material. What I think they would normally do if you go to a professional is they will take a mold and then send that out and create a hard mouthguard, or at least that's what I've had in the past. Kind of like these hard plastic mouthguards that kind of clip onto the teeth. So because this is soft, even though when it cools off it hardens a little bit, it's just not a hard plastic. It feels more like a soft plastic. And if it's just slightly loose, your teeth can kind of fall onto that. Now, I did find that what I would do is bite back into it, and your teeth do get kind of locked in there. But with hard mouth guards that I've used in the past, you actually have to use your fingers to get the mouth guards off the teeth that kind of click off. The other thing I will say here is that when you put it in your mouth to mold it, you want to make sure that your lower jaw and your upper jaw are straight, at least in line with what is comfortable. Because if they are off just a little bit, and I'm kind of exaggerating here, you're going to sleep with your jaw being pressed to one side or the other. And while you're molding it, you're kind of focused on getting the teeth in and making the impression, and sometimes you're not really thinking about, is my jaw just off a millimeter or not? And in my case, I think I got them misaligned by just a millimeter. Now, it's not the end of the world, but it does make it slightly uncomfortable, although you do get kind of used to it. But I would just recommend making sure that when you're pressing down and biting down, it's a natural feeling for you and it feels aligned. All right, I will also say that when you have this in your mouth, if you are a side sleeper, or even if you kind of roll over and you press your face into the pillow, which I do, this really wasn't ever uncomfortable, especially sleeping on your side. But sleeping on your face, you might think, hey, it's kind of pinching your lips. I never even felt anything like that. I certainly didn't have any sore lips or any redness inside the gums. So as you're rolling around, if you are someone that kind of buries your face in the pillow or in your arm or into the bed itself, I don't think this is a problem. It still feels very comfortable. Now, as I said, your mouth is kind of open, your lips are kind of spread apart, you are breathing through this if you're a mouth breather, but there's air passing through this, and when you are breathing through your mouth, one of the side effects is that it tends to whistle a little bit. Now, it doesn't whistle like whistling. I can't whistle worth a damn. It's more like, especially when you're breathing deep, kind of like you're pushing air between your teeth. So it's probably less annoying than snoring, but the first time I heard that, I thought it was something else until I realized it was the mouth guard itself. Now, the other thing I will say here is I actually bought one of those neoprene head straps too, because I wanted to try it with that. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but as I said, because that lower jaw can fall out of the bottom here, because this isn't super tight, I thought having a strap that would just give some slight pressure to the bottom of your chin, hold that up, might keep this all together and keep me from having my teeth fall out of the lower portion of this. Now, the other solution is I could maybe redo this, which I might do, or maybe get a second one so that I can take it on trips and not have to worry about where is my mouth guard. But the other thing that it's got me thinking is about going to a professional that might make this out of a hard plastic. Now, this is something like $50. So if you think you have a problem with snoring, you want to try something like this, maybe get a more restful sleep, I'll put a link to this in the description so that you can try it out. But if this works, I think the professional mouth guards can start at a few $100s and easily go to $500, $600, $700. However, that might be worth it because they might be more durable, they might clip onto your teeth a little bit better, they might be more adjustable, they might actually do some measurements to make sure that you're not moving your jaw out too far. And something as simple as a mouth guard like this might not just give you more restful sleeps, but actually might make you healthier. So I'm actually really intrigued by this. I'm actually surprised to the upside at how much I like this. I really didn't expect it to work all that well, but it really did for me, just pulling that jaw out just a little bit and was pretty easy to use. So if you think this might help you, I think it's worth trying out. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever thanks to Peter Von Panda.